Great. So thank you so much for signing up and turning up or watching on the replay when that goes out. I really, really appreciate the buzz that's been around us doing this report for vet life. So I think it's a really common problem that vets have is struggling to write good ultrasound reports, struggling not to reflect their confidence levels within their report and what they actually saw instead. So today we're going to have a very practical session. By the end of the session, you will have written your first structured ultrasound report in FOVU Report. And by doing that, you will have donated £1 to VetLife through FOVU. So let's get started. So what we're going to do today, we're going to explain why we've decided to pair up with VetLife. We're going to look at the SPEEDS framework. That's the framework that we use to think through our scans, which helps us to write our reports. And this is something we've used for a long time in FOVU and developed it into the reporting software. We're going to write our first structured report live together, and then we're going to get you to send someone you know a link about the challenge as well. So trying to get as many people so we can donate as much money to VetLife as possible. This will be available as a replay. So if you know someone who couldn't make it today, they will get to watch this. So we have just hit 1,000 reports written since we launched. We launched in beta in September with a small group of vets willing to try something new. And since January, we've been growing that community. And last month, we crossed that 1,000 reports written by first opinion vets all over the globe. So we've had 1,000 patients with a better record, 1,000 moments of clinical clarity, and we're really excited about what comes next. So what is VetLife? So VetLife is a charity in the UK which provides free confidential support to vets and vet nurses facing mental health challenges, financial difficulty, or personal crisis in the UK. The veterinary profession has one of the highest rates of burnout and mental health struggles of any profession. And many of us, including myself, have either been there or know someone close to us that have been there. So VetLife exists because the profession needs this support, and it has to be a specialised type of support from people that understand the profession, and that is exactly what VetLife does so well and why we want to support this wonderful charity. We at FOVU are genuinely interested in increasing confidence. We do that through ultrasound, but it is the underlying thing that I enjoy most is when I see confidence growing. So vets who hesitate at the scanner, who write NAD to protect themselves, who finish a scan feeling less confident than when they started, we want to help them. It's a well-being problem. Having low confidence, feeling like we want to avoid the ultrasound machine, we have imposter syndrome, and the fear of being seen to get it wrong. These are real daily stressors for first opinion vets. So with our framework SPEEDS, we don't just improve our reports, we're trying to improve our confidence that makes clinical life feel more manageable. And that's why we've paired with VetLife. So for every report written in FOVU Report, and we need to get through the whole report to do that, we at FOVU will donate £1. So you write the reports, we'll donate the money. There's no cap. Every report will count, and that's whether you are doing it on a practice patient. You might have a staff pet that you want to practice on. You might look at some old images stored in your machine and try and write a report on that, or it might be real life patients. I want you to play with it and practice using it. All of those reports will count. So normally we do a 2-week free trial, but we will stretch that to the whole of July for those of you who are not signed up to the membership. And we've written 1,000 reports as a community over the last few months, and that's why I've set the target for £1,000 for VetLife this month. It is an ambitious target, but that's where we're hoping to get to. It's about 5 reports per person who's signed up, but hopefully we might even break that. So to help us to get there, what I'd love you to do is to open WhatsApp, Instagram, wherever you talk to vet friends, send them a message saying you're doing this challenge, and send them the link so they can sign up too. Then they will get access to this webinar and go through everything. If everyone does that, we can double the amount of money that we are raising for VetLife. So I'll give you a minute to just open that social media and send a message. So the link is there. I think Amy might have also put it in the chat. Might need to repost it in the chat so that people have got that. The link is fovu.co.uk/report-for-vetlife-home. So if you can send that a message to anyone else that you know would benefit from growing their confidence in ultrasound scanning, report writing, then do send that. Oh, we've stopped the timer, so it's taking a little bit longer. Let's skip a little bit. Yes, so do send that to any of your vet friends who you feel it would be relevant for. Well, you can also do that if you're watching this on a replay. It's no problem. Once people are signed up, they will get sent this replay link. Fantastic. Okay, so let's talk about NAD, nothing abnormal detected. Other people say nothing actually done. And that is often how it comes across when we write acronyms like this, like within normal limits, nothing obvious seen, unremarkable. We've all written them. We all know why. It's not laziness. Sometimes we use the excuse of time, but most often underlying that, it's self-protection. We don't want to sound overconfident in what we found. We don't know the vocabulary to use to make it clear what we saw and what we didn't see and what we ruled in, what we ruled out. So it's a rational response to uncertainty. But it costs us. It costs the next vet who has nothing to work with. They don't know what was scanned, what was left out. We can't justify the fee, so we struggle to feel clear about charging our clients, and that can be a real big problem within the business. We often see vets undercharging or not charging at all for ultrasound scans that they've done because they don't feel like they can justify the value delivered. And we missed the chance to actually reflect on what we found. It's a great learning step. Things that we think we can do that better, that often happens in the report writing stage. And there is a better way, and it is simpler that we think. So, introducing our framework, SPEEDS. This is a structured framework for ultrasound reporting, and it is designed for first opinion practice. So we are looking at abdominal scanning here, and we're thinking about assessing the whole organ first. As vets, we are really, really keen to get to our diagnosis and jump to it. So as soon as we see some pathology, we want to investigate that. But what we lose from that is we lose getting an overall view, understanding how widespread the pathology is and whether there are multiple pathologies there rather than just the first pathology we come across. So what I want you to do is step back, be patient, assess the whole organ first. So we first want to think about what things can we objectively measure or describe. So size being one of those things. If there's anything we can measure that we can compare to reference ranges, that is incredibly helpful. So getting that size, that might be a wall thickness, it might be a length of a kidney, for example, but these are all things that we can compare to reference ranges out there. And the good news is that those reference ranges are built into FOVU Report. So once you've put in your species and your body weight, then the tool will tell you if that kidney length is the expected kidney length or whether it's too small or too large for that animal. Then we move on to more subjective things, such as the shape of the organ. Is that as we'd expect? So, for example, the kidney, is it kidney bean shaped or is it a different shape? And how do we describe that shape? The P in speed stands for position. And this is the position, the anatomical position within the abdomen. And is it displaced? If it is displaced, why is it displaced? So is the liver further cranial because we've got a diaphragmatic hernia, or is it more caudal because we've got free fluid between the diaphragm and the liver? So figuring out the position, whether it's normal, and if it's not normal, why? Why is it not normal? What is causing that? Then we think about echogenicity and echotexture. And so we're using words like hyperechoic if it's brighter, isoechoic if it's the same grayness on the grayscale, and hypoechoic if it's darker, anechoic if it's black. And then we're using that as a comparison tool. So we might be saying the liver is hypoechoic to the spleen, etc. So we're using it as a descriptor and our comparison tool. Then our echotexture is it heterogeneous or homogeneous? And what would we expect from that organ? How would we expect that to be? Is that within what we're expecting? The second E stands for edge. So scanning out to the margins of the organ is really, really important. You don't want to miss pathology that's right on the edges of the organ. So this encourages you to go to the extremities and think about just beyond them as well. Thinking about the capsule or the edge of the organ, but also just beyond it. Is there any free fluid, for example? Or is there any steatitis, so inflammation in the fat that might suggest that there is pathology within that organ? Looking out for those things on the edge can be key. Dynamics is one of my favourites with ultrasound because ultrasound gives us a unique perspective on dynamics. We can't see movement on X-ray. The other key imaging tool we've got in first opinion practice. So ultrasound, we should absolutely be looking at that movement wherever we can. And that might be natural movement like peristalsis or ureteral jets, looking at those movements. It could also be where we are looking at movement of sludge or uroliths, so actually moving the patient from one lateral to another and checking whether uroliths or sludge in the gallbladder falls with gravity to the new dependent side and how fast it's doing that as well. Then also using colour flow mapping, so looking at the blood vessels, looking at bile ducts, places where there might be movement. Distribution, this is finally where we might start to think about pathology. So the previous things that we've been looking at, they're really thinking about diffuse changes in the organ. But at distribution, we can think about whether there are focal or multifocal lesions within the organ. And at that point, if we do spot focal or multifocal lesions, we can then describe them using speeds. So let's imagine we've got a focal lesion. We can look at the size. What is the height, length, and width of this lesion? What is the shape of this lesion? Is it lobulated? Is it round? How could we best describe that? The position, now we're thinking of the position within the organ that we're interested in. Is it within the wall or is it projecting into the lumen of an organ, or is it in the right side of the liver? Where could we describe that this is actually found? The echogenicity and echotexture, how does it compare to the surrounding tissue, the surrounding parenchyma? The edge, is that well defined, or does it sort of merge with the normal tissue? Dynamics, again, we're thinking about applying colour flow mapping over this area and looking at whether we've got increased blood flow or decreased blood flow, where that may give us hints as to whether it is something malignant or something like an abscess where we're not expecting blood flow. And then finally, we can think about sampling, because ultrasound by itself is absolutely fantastic at finding pathology, but is not great at differentiating pathology. Many different lesions look similar or have overlap with other pathologies. So really, we need to gather some cells, either with a biopsy or fine needle aspirate, to better differentiate what exactly the disease going on is. So getting sampling is really useful. If you're not at the stage yet where you're confident enough to take samples, that is absolutely fine. But what I want you to start getting into the thought process is, if sampling was a good idea in this case, would it be possible? Because that tells the next vet who might be good at sampling whether it's at all possible or not. So thinking about, how deep is this lesion? If it's 10 centimeters deep and right by the diaphragm, it might be tricky to reach. If you can only access it through another organ, that's not great. If there's a massive blood vessel next to it that you wouldn't want to hit with a needle, also not great. So assessing those things and being able to say, a sampling would be good in this case. I can't do it right now, but perhaps someone else could, either within the team or in a referral centre. That knowledge and being able to explain that to the owner is a real step up, even if you're not at the point of being able to sample yet yourself. So the important thing here is to assess the whole organ first, using speeds, size, shape, position, echogenicity, echotexture, edge, dynamics. Then we get to distribution, where we start to think about the individual lesions, and we apply size, shape, position, echogenicity, echotexture, edge, dynamics. Also with distribution there, you can think about local lymph nodes, whether they're affected. And then sampling, which is really, really key, and a key marriage with ultrasound. Okay, so what changes when you use speeds? So then you have a clear report, which describes all these things that you've seen or not been able to see or not been able to assess, but you've written that clearly. And that helps the next vet, whether that's yourself in a month's time, reviewing this, or whether that's a colleague. They'll be able to see what was assessed and what wasn't. The client can have something tangible. They can see how much work was done, how much thought was gone into it, and you feel like you can justify the fee because the report justifies it for you. And you can learn as you're writing. If you feel there are gaps, you can really highlight those gaps and go, no, I need to figure out a little bit more about colour flow mapping Doppler so I can understand what I'm seeing. But those gaps aren't overwhelming. It's not oh my God, I've got to learn the whole of ultrasound. You've got a specific task. And you feel finishing the scan like the professional you actually are. So Raluca, who is a FOVU member, put this far better than I can describe. So she said that after using FOVU Report, I don't feel like an imposter who just moves the probe up and down with no conclusion. So it really, really does help to break down your thoughts like that. Right. We're getting to the exciting bit now. So we're going to get you all signed up to FOVU Report. So if you are new to FOVU Report and have never signed up to it before, if you head to report.fovu.co.uk/sign-up or scan the QR code in that top right hand corner. It takes 2 minutes to sign up, and your trial will cover the whole of July. And we don't need your credit card details or anything like that. We do need a symbol in the password. It will alert you if you don't do that. So it will ask for your first name, last name, your full name with post-nominals. And the reason that we're asking for that is what will go on the report to show who's done the report. The email address and your password must be 8 characters and include at least one number and one special character. If you are already a member, you can log in at report.fovu.co.uk/login, and you can check. You may need to be prompted to start two-factor authentication if you haven't signed in for a little while. So great. So Amy's put those links in the chat. So I'll just give you a moment to get signed up, and then we will go through a case together. So do write in the chat if you have managed to get signed up. You should be through to our identification page when you're through there. So once I've got a few yes I'm in notifications, then I will move on to the next step. Yeah, and Amy says if there's any problems with two-factor authentication, you can message in the chat and she will help you, or you can email her at admin@fovu.co.uk. Great, Anya is in, and Katarina is in. Excellent. Just wait for a couple more. Okay. Leonie and Justin's in. Great. Okay, and Ash is in. Fantastic. So let's take a look at a case, and Shabir is in. Fantastic. We going to look at a case today, and we'll write it up in the FOVU report, and that will send the first donations to VetLife. So I'm really excited about that. Natalia's in. So we're going to look at a Border Terrier dog. So what I want you to do on that identification page is choose Abdominal Report. Then I want you to choose, write in the details here. Alberta's in. We've got the animal name is Alfie. We've got the owner's name Smith. And this is a 12-year-old male-neutered, oh my goodness, domestic short cat, that's gone wrong. So clearly a Border Terrier, not a domestic short-haired cat. And we've got we found on pre-dental bloods that this dog had a raised ALKP. Note to self, need to double check these slides. Yes, when we've put that in, it's important that you put in, it won't allow you to go any further without putting in that this is oh yes, so the dog weighs 10 kilos. So it's important that we put in that it's a male and that it's neutered. That will affect what organs are shown. It will show prostate, but it won't show testicles. If it was entire, it would show testicles as well. If it was a female entire, we would have ovaries and uterus as well. So that determines that. The weight is really, really important as well. And the fact that it's a dog, because that will affect the parameters for different measurements that we can put in. So once we've got those details in, Yeah, it's 10 kilos for the weight. Once we put those details in, if you go down to the bottom and say save and proceed, then let me know when you're at the procedure tab. Katerina's done. You're on it today, Katerina. Catherine at the procedure tab, fantastic. Leonie and Justin, done. Okay, that sounds great. So at this point, Anya's in. We get to where we want to put in our machine details. If you know what your ultrasound machine is, you can press a little plus at the side and you can add your details. It's a good idea to click it as your default because then you don't have to worry about ever touching that again until you buy a new machine. Once you've put that in, if you don't want to put that in, just leave it as it says ultrasound machine there. You can't leave it empty and you can't write in the box directly. Then you want to choose your probe. So in this case, we'll use a microconvex probe. There are other probes you can choose. If you have a probe that isn't listed there, do tell me and we can easily add that. You can add a sedation if you want, if we didn't sedate in this case, but you could add that. Okay, Alberta's in at the procedure tab. Fantastic. Hopefully you can catch up because you lost connection. Then we add the scan date. So let's put in today's date, 1st of July, 2026. And then we can press save and proceed again. So let me know when you're at that point. And then we get to the most exciting page. Ash is done. Katerina's done. Alberta, Leonie and Justin are done. Catherine's done. Fantastic. Let's move on to the images then. Oh, so we have got these videos playing and we've got, so basically we want to go through, scroll down to gallbladder. This is our findings page. And we want to scroll down to gallbladder because that's what we're focusing on here. You could choose one of the other organs to be normal if you wanted. Just say, yes, I scanned it. Yes, it was normal, just to play and see what that comes out as. But we're going to scroll down to gallbladder. Next to all of the organs, you'll see there's a little video button, and that is just an explainer on how to scan that organ if you haven't scanned it in a while and you can't remember how best to scan it, or you're new and you're learning. There's a 2 to 3 minute video on each organ on how to scan that. So you can click on that and then click anywhere outside of the video to get out of that again. But what we want to do is scroll down to gallbladder, click yes, we've scanned the gallbladder. It will then ask us what the wall thickness of the gallbladder is, which we've done here. We've measured up here. Let me get my laser pointer. Here we go, our laser pointer here. So we've measured the wall thickness here. It's 0.17 centimeters. If you enter that, you'll see that the box below that will automatically tell you normal or abnormal. So it will say either it's too thick or normal or too thin. And in this case, I think it is within the normal reference range. So it should pop up. You can override that. So sometimes we have the sort of subjective feeling that although it's within the normal reference range, it actually looks very thickened or abnormal. So you can override that if you feel that it is different, but it just compares it to the reference range for that species and body weight. Then the next question is whether it is normal or abnormal overall, and I think we can agree that we wouldn't expect to see this sort of content within the gallbladder normally, so we can say it is abnormal. This will then open our speeds questions. So we work through the speeds questions. You can work through looking at these videos here. Here. Okay, so Alberta's asking at which point you can override the comments only in the final report. This is where I got a bit frustrated. Okay, so yes, you have to choose something, and then in the editing you can absolutely override everything that you want. So it's just helping you think through the process. So thinking through your size, the shape, and what you'll often find is the pathology is often only abnormal in one or two ways on speeds. It's not often that all of speeds is abnormal. Then it becomes very difficult to identify it as that organ. So because this isn't taking up the whole of the lumen, we consider this as the whole of the organ problem. But we can see size and shape are not that abnormal. Position it's harder for you to tell, but it is in the normal position, the right side of the abdomen, cranial abdomen. Our echogenicity and echotexture, we can see we've got this stellate pattern and suspended content in the center of the gallbladder. Our edge, there's no free fluid or steatitis around it, so that's pretty normal. Dynamics, we can see there's no blood flow within it, because this is our concern. If we're thinking this is a mucocele, could it actually be a mass of some sort? But there's no blood flow here. Distribution, there's no focal lesions separate to this that's affecting the whole organ. And sampling is not really recommended in cases of mucoceles. So this is, this is where we will show up our normals and where things are abnormal. So once we've answered those questions, and what you'll find next to these as well is that next to, for example, echogenicity and echotexture, there's another little video just on that, which helps show some pathology. So if you're not sure what it is you're looking at, you can have a look at some specific gallbladder pathology where the echogenicity and echotexture are changed. And that will help you to compare and think about how to answer the questions. Okay, so once we've done that, we can head down to the bottom again and press save and continue. So let me know when you're at that point. Ione and Justin are on it. They have done. Katerina is done. This tends to be the step where I lose people because they get engrossed in videos. Alberta is done. Just wait for a few more because this is probably a bit where people are concentrating. Sean will be right back. That's fine. Anya is done. Fantastic. Ash is done. Right, great. Let's move on then to the editing step. So the editing step, you can change anything that's written in there, but basically it will populate. So if you said that something was normal, it will write a paragraph based on speeds about how the organ is normal. It mostly assumes that you haven't applied color Doppler to everything. So it is well worth reading through when you're just starting out. We will highlight if we ever change any of those so that once you're confident what it says, that you can go much quicker through writing a report, and only double check it when something has changed. So you can edit. You will see that a lot of the organs say not imaged. That is very valuable information. You can also add to that, you can say that if something is not imaged because of a reason. So you might have not been able to image, I don't know, the right adrenal, let's say, because there was gas in the way. So you might just want to add that because the ascending colon had a lot of gas in it and it was obstructing or something like that. So to give you the idea that you've attempted it, or for example, you might have attempted to image the medial iliac lymph node and couldn't see it, but you looked at the landmarks, there was no pathology around there. That's a good little addition to write in as well. So you can add things, you can alter it. If there's anything from the speeds options that you've chosen that is fairly pathognomic, or then it will mention that in the conclusion, which is right at the bottom. So you should see that hopefully you've chosen some options that tell us that this was a mucocele in this border terrier, and you can see that right at the bottom. If there are a number of differential diagnoses, they will also come up in the conclusion as well. If we choose something abnormal, then it will come up down there, but you can fully edit that. It's not perfect. It's not AI, so it's not assuming anything. This is an algorithm that I have built. So it is consistent and stays the same. We highlight if we change things, and we are developing it. So occasionally we will change things. If someone says, this thing's really missing, I use that a lot, or I see this pathology a lot and it doesn't really cover that, we will add that in. But that gets highlighted in there. So once you have edited as you want, you can then scroll down to the bottom and press save. And that is the point where we will donate £1 to VetLife. So let me know when you have done that, because that's super exciting for me. We have our FOVU Report logo in the top left, but you are able to change that to your practice logo, which is quite good fun. And that can make it seem very much more professional, and lots of vets are happily giving these reports out to clients because they feel that really shows the value of the scan that they've done. Excellent, Anya. So we've got our first pound. Okay, so Catherine, you can't progress from the findings page. This is probably because you've left a question unanswered. So you might have said, yes, you've scanned an organ and then done nothing after that. You can leave measurements blank, but you can't leave questions blank. So yeah, you probably left something blank. So just scroll up and see. It should be highlighted as well, what's blank. Yes, Leonie and Justin are done. Alberta is done. So we got some money coming through for VetLife. That's fantastic. Ash is done. Catherine, let us know if you find that, or if that is still a problem for you, but that's most likely the issue that's going on there. So what we want you to do through July is just play with this, use it on real patients, use it on practice patients, use it to just look at the videos, but do try and finish the report, because then we'll donate £1. So we're really hoping. Okay, Catherine, what we'll do is we can hop on a call after this. When we finish this call, stay on, and then I will chat to you personally, and we'll see how we can solve this. Okay, we have, yeah, we're hoping to raise £1,000, and we will keep you guys updated in the newsletter and in the FOVU community on Facebook. Um, and then when you write a report, do spread the word that you're helping to raise money through VetLife. Can tag it on social media, report for VetLife if you like, and tell your friends to sign up so we can raise lots of money. So I wanted to just say this message from Liz Barton, who's a VetLife trustee, um, who said that fundraising initiatives like this are vital to support the work at VetLife and ensure that they are there 24/7 for the veterinary community. So if you need that help and you're based in the UK, the website is vetlife.org.uk and the helpline is 03030402 So use FOVU Report on your next scans. Share the link with anyone who you think would benefit from it. Send all your questions, clinical or otherwise, to admin@fovu.co.uk or camilla@fovu.co.uk. Um, and um, and yeah, we'll look at that. Um, right. So help us to get to our target of £1,000. And thank you. Thank you for everyone who signed up. Are there any questions? I think Alberta might have one. Yes. So Alberta's saying my brain wants to go and describe focal and multifocal lesions immediately. Um, so yeah, it's that is one of the things I'm trying to get you to do is to slow down because you will miss things if we don't go through that process of assessing the whole organ first. It is it's something we need to practice and adapt to. It is a difficult thing to do. But hopefully using that structure can slow you down. Yes, it's very, very tempting. We all want to get to the diagnosis, but we all want to get to the right diagnosis. Ah, Catherine, you've solved it by clicking on editing instead of save and proceed from the identification page. Okay, okay. So you might have what might have happened is closing it initially. I don't know what's happened there, but it sounds like you've got there, so that's good. Great. How do we email the report? When I click email, it asks you to add a file. That's another unusual one. Okay, so when you get to the email report page, I'm going to just see if I can get that up and share that. Let me just sign in. Mm, Give me a moment. The reason we have two-factor authentication is to protect, we've got lots of data in there. Um, so okay, let's go to reports and then let's click on a practice one. Hold on. Okay, let me share this screen now. So when you've finished the report, You can find more reports under reports. I've got a few more things over here because I'm the master tenant here. Um, but you can go to any of these and you can edit. You should have a button saying print report up here, which will make the PDF report for you. If you press email report, you don't need to click choose files. It's already uploaded. So from this, all you do need to do is send. You can adjust what's written here, and that will go to your email address that you added initially. So Leonie and Justin, does that make sense, or is it because you chose a file? We've got that so that you can add other files if you want to, but you don't absolutely don't need to do that. You should just be able to send it and it go through to your own email address. You can add under my preferences, you can add, it will look slightly different in here, but you can add more email addresses in under my preferences, and you can also add your logo as well. Yes, great. So perfect. Yes. I'll just click and send and check it comes through. Good. Let me know. Okay. And then, yes. So Alberta, you want to describe that pathology. I totally get it. And that's fine if it's diffuse, but really, really need to slow down on your thinking because otherwise you're likely to miss things. And Katarina asks, will the report still count if I translate to Swedish? Absolutely. As long as you click that when you're on the editing page and you finish, you save that, that counts as a complete report. Whether you've translated the content to Swedish, absolutely fine. The other thing is we can't see your reports. They are private to your account. All we can see is how many reports you've written. So the only thing I know is if you pressed complete the report, so at the end of the editing page. So that's all I can see. I can't see if you've written in Swedish. Yes. Any other questions? Good. I'm just waiting to see if Leonie and Justin, if that email came through. Lots of people are adding their practice manager or someone in admin. Yes, it came through. Excellent. So lots of people are adding admin person to their emails. So in my preferences, you just add a comma and the next email address, and all of them will get sent out to those. And then that's a really neat way to get it added to your patient records. Yes. So Catherine, how do we add a subsequent report to the same patient? We haven't set that up in any way at the moment, but it is something on our list. So the other thing under your name in that menu is feedback. So if you have something like that you'd love to be able to do, and that's come up before, then do put it in there. You can feedback either a problem or something that is wrong or anything like that, or a wish. So something you wish it could do, that you could connect patients, or you could connect, or you could, lots of people are wanting to be able to add images, for example. So we've got those things on a list, and basically if you add your hat in the ring, it will push those things up the list, and we are working through that list to improve it. Yes, so Alberta, adding images option is on the list, and we are working hard in the background. Each month, the software developers are bringing out the next new thing that we're working on. So lots of really good things on the list coming up. So Katerina's looking forward to her next scan. I'm looking forward to that too, Katerina. Let me know how you get on. So Amy is saying, can I show where the feedback form is? Yes, absolutely. Go for it. How do I? I've got to stop sharing first, I think. There we go. So you might be muted, Amy. I don't know.
It's showing.
Yes,
You see it?
we can see it.
Okay, so just because I know sometimes when you come off these things, it's quite hard to remember where to go. So if you go to your name, you've got your drop down. Here it is, provide feedback, and it takes you to this form here.
Oh, we can't see that actually.
Oh, can you not?
Um, we can see the screen, but it's not moving.
Okay, hang on. Okay, can you see the form now? Yeah.
We can see the report feedback. Yeah.
Okay. So did you see the screen where I went to the menu?
No, no, we couldn't see your mouse moving.
Oh, okay. So on your dashboard, obviously in the top right-hand corner where your name is, the little arrow. If you click on that, I think it's the second one down, and that it takes you to this form. You click on the feedback, and this is what that form looks like.
Yeah. So you can either click on problem or wish, and then tell us what you want.
This
Um,
is really important because Camilla acts on these really quickly.
and also, if you've got a problem, adding screenshots is really, really helpful. So when you click on problem, it gives you the option to add any screenshots, and that's really, really helpful for us. Really narrows down the problem. So I think we sorted Catherine's problem out with the proceeding from the finding step. And I think we sorted Leonie and Justin's problem with the email. Any other problems that you have, don't hesitate to get in touch. But please write as many reports as you can in July and let us know how you get on. Super excited. So take care, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Bye. Thanks, Catherine. Thanks, Natalia.